Well, from Covington to Blytheville, Arkansas, folks from across the Mid-South told us they felt the 3.8 magnitude earthquake yesterday, which makes us wonder, when could the big one hit? Action News 5's Kelli Cook has been speaking with experts across the country to try to get an answer. So, Kelli, what we do know, earthquakes in the Mid-South, they're actually nothing new, right?
Yeah, that's right, Joy. They actually happen all the time, usually magnitudes of 1 or 2, which is something you really can't feel. But yesterday's quake at 3.8 was definitely something that had people talking. Mitch Withers with the University of Memphis Earthquake Monitoring System says this area will get a 3 or better earthquake, usually a couple times a year. Yesterday's earthquake happened just before noon, about 30 miles southwest of Blytheville, Arkansas. RDOT deployed inspectors to the epicenter of the earthquake to check for infrastructure damage. We can tell you so far, so good. But Withers says those types of earthquakes don't typically cause any damage. Usually it has to be at least a 5 magnitude or better. So I asked the question you all want to know: when could that happen, or worse, one that could cause catastrophic damage?
When's the big one? Right. Yeah. Well, it's not as bad as California, of course, but we do have a risk in this area from the New Madrid seismic zone. There's about a 7 to 10% chance of, a disastrous earthquake in the next 50 years. Another way of saying that is there's a 90% better chance that it won't happen. But there is about a 28 to 40% chance of a magnitude 6 somewhere in the New Madrid seismic zone in the next 50 years.
Now, Withers says they simply don't have enough data to provide a specific timetable of when an earthquake of that magnitude could happen. The last major one was in 1811. Now, where scientists are making advances is learning about what our world could look like after a major earthquake hits. Coming up tonight at 6, I spoke to a geophysicist with the U.S. Geological Survey about that. In studio, Kelli Cook, Action News 5.
If you felt it, you might still be a little shaken up from Wednesday's earthquake. The quake registered a 3.8 magnitude. Inspectors in Arkansas spent the day making sure there was no damage. Action News 5's Kelli Cook has been speaking with geological experts. And Kelli, the question everybody wants to know: when could the big one hit?
Joe, I wish I could tell you. There simply is not enough data to give a very specific answer. Mitch Withers got as close as possible with the University of Memphis Center for Earthquake Research, who says there's about a 28 to 40% chance of a magnitude 6 or greater in the next 50 years. Yesterday's earthquake hit around noon, about 35 miles southwest of Blytheville, Arkansas. The Mid-South sits on the New Madrid Fault, and the last time we had a major earthquake was 1811. And Thomas Pratt, geophysicist with the U.S. Geological Survey, says he feels certain that we will have a repeat of 1811. It's just unclear when or exactly where. He does say scientists have made advances in other areas.
Spent a lot of time trying to look at what will happen, what are the effects when there is a large earthquake, such as liquefaction, where the ground can liquefy and turn to quicksand. We've got a lot of studies of building damage and things like that.
Yesterday's earthquake was not strong enough to cause any serious damage. Experts say it takes a quake 5 or stronger for that. RDOT deployed inspectors to the epicenter of the earthquake in Mississippi County, Arkansas, to check for infrastructure damage. So far, so good. No damage or injuries were reported. In studio, Kelli Cook, Action News 5.